My father laughed when I asked for a gym membership, but when he took it from me, I realized this wasn't just about muscles, it was personal. I had been waiting months for this moment. My gym membership was my escape, my sanctuary, my way to transform myself both inside and out. Every day after work, I dreamt about lifting, running, and finally feeling proud of my body. It was my chance to prove I could be disciplined, strong, and independent. But my father, Mark Reynolds, had other plans. He had always been controlling, the type of man who couldn't stand to see me succeed at anything without making it about him. When I finally managed to save enough money and signed up for the elite fitness club downtown, I thought I had won a small victory. That victory didn't last long. The next morning, I discovered that my father had called the gym himself and canceled my membership, claiming it was wasting money on nonsense. I stormed into the house, furious. "You did what?" I shouted, heart pounding. "I saved you from making a mistake," he said calmly, sipping his morning coffee like nothing happened. "You don't need some fancy gym to waste your time. Real discipline comes at home." I felt my hands clench into fists. "You don't get it, Dad. This is my life, my choices." He smirked, that arrogant, dismissive look I knew too well. "Not while you're under my roof, son." For a moment, I froze. Then the anger boiled over. This wasn't just about the gym. It was about control. Every gym session I imagined, every hour of personal progress had been stolen by him. He had turned my escape into a cage. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept circling back to the gym, the weights I hadn't lifted, the treadmill I hadn't run on, the sense of accomplishment that was slipping away. And then an idea hit me, and planned so simple, yet so deliciously satisfying that I couldn't stop thinking about it. If my father wanted to control me, fine, but I could play his game too, and I could win. Over the next few days, I started making subtle changes. I didn't confront him directly. I stayed calm, polite, almost obedient. But secretly, I signed up for a different gym, one he wouldn't expect, and began training every single day. Early mornings, late nights, hours at the weights. I documented every session, every small victory, every drop of sweat, and I waited. I waited for the perfect moment to make him regret ever underestimating me. Because one day, I wouldn't just reclaim my freedom, I would show him exactly who I had become. And it wouldn't just be about muscles. It would be about respect, pride, and finally, proving that I was more than just his son. He laughed at my progress until he saw what I could do with my own two hands. Weeks passed, and my transformation became impossible to hide. My muscles had grown, my stamina had skyrocketed, and my confidence radiated in everything I did. I started running longer distances, lifting heavier weights, and mastering exercises that I never thought I could. Yet I kept my father in the dark, letting him believe I was still struggling without the gym. One afternoon, a new gym competition was announced. A local challenge, open to everyone. The prize wasn't money, but prestige. The community knew who won these competitions, and the winners became local celebrities. My mind immediately went to my father. I knew that if I competed, he'd eventually find out. And I also knew that this would be the perfect stage to make him regret taking my gym membership. I signed up secretly, training even harder than before. Each day, I pushed myself to the brink, imagining my father sitting at home, smugly convinced he had destroyed my motivation. Every time I lifted more than before, I whispered under my breath, "This one's for you, Dad." 500 words in, the twist came. A week before the competition, I saw him walking past the gym. At first, I panicked. Did he know? Would he try to stop me? But instead, he just stared from the window across the street, and a strange expression crossed his face. Surprise mixed with something else. Pride? Confusion? I couldn't tell.
The day of the competition arrived. I walked in, muscles tense, heart pounding, feeling the electricity of the crowd. He was there, my father, sitting in the back, pretending not to notice me, but I knew he was watching. Every move, every rep, every struggle he witnessed would make him realize he had underestimated me. The competition started. I outperformed almost everyone in my category, lifting heavier, running faster, and showing more endurance. The judges were impressed, the crowd cheered, and then came the final challenge, a test of strength and agility that I had secretly trained for more than anything. 500 words later, the twist hit. As I completed the challenge flawlessly, the final whistle blew, and my father's jaw dropped. He had never seen me like this. Strong, confident, unstoppable. The smugness was gone, replaced with shock, and for the first time in years, I saw fear in his eyes. Not fear of danger, but fear of losing control over me. I walked off the stage, chest heaving, muscles burning, and glanced at him. He couldn't say a word. I didn't need to. My victory was my message. I had turned his attempt to control me into the very reason I had become stronger than ever. That night, as I returned home, I realized something. The transformation wasn't just physical. I had changed mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And the best part? The final chapter of our story, the confrontation that would make him truly understand, was just around the corner. He said I'd never be anything without his gym cart. Then I made him eat his words. After my victory at the local competition, I returned home with a sense of quiet triumph. The medal around my neck wasn't just a symbol of physical achievement. It was proof that I could rise above limitations, even those imposed by my own father. Yet, despite the elation, I knew the ultimate challenge was still ahead, confronting him. I found him sitting in the living room, staring at the television with a bored expression, pretending he hadn't heard about the competition. I didn't announce my arrival. Instead, I walked up behind him quietly, my posture exuding the confidence I had earned through months of hard work. "Dad," I said calmly. He turned slowly, his eyebrows raising in mild surprise. "We need to talk." He smirked. "About what? Your little stunt at the gym? I already heard from the neighbors. Seems like you did okay." His tone was dismissive, trying to belittle my accomplishment before I even had a chance to speak. I ignored the jab and leaned against the doorway. "You took my gym membership and said I wouldn't amount to anything. You thought I'd give up, but look at me now." I could see his eyes scanning me from head to toe, registering the hard-earned muscles, the endurance, and the confidence that radiated from every movement. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. I continued. "Every rep, every drop of sweat, every early morning and late night, you thought it wouldn't matter. You thought I'd fail. But not only did I succeed, I exceeded every expectation, including mine." At this point, I could see the shift in his expression. The smirk had faded, the smugness replaced with something unfamiliar. Respect, perhaps, but also a hint of fear. He realized that for once, I was in control of my own destiny. 500 words in, the twist hits. He finally spoke, but his voice was quiet, almost hesitant. "I didn't think you had it in you. I underestimated you." I smiled, letting my gaze meet his. "And that was your mistake. You tried to control me with limitations, and I turned them into fuel. Today, I'm not just stronger in body, I'm stronger in mind, and nothing you do can change that." He looked away, struggling with pride and embarrassment. The father who once held power over every part of my life was now silent, his authority stripped by my determination and resilience. The final 500 words of this chapter revealed the subtle reconciliation, not a complete forgiveness, but a recognition. He extended a hand, hesitant but sincere. I guess I need to learn from you now. I shook it, feeling a weight lift from both of us. The tension, the resentment, and the control battles that had defined our relationship for years began to fade. I had turned rebellion into triumph and resentment into understanding. That night, as I returned home, I realized the journey was more than just muscle and endurance. It was about proving my own worth, reclaiming my independence, and teaching the most important lesson of all, that growth comes from within, not from someone else's permission.
He thought I was just wasting time at the gym. Then I made the entire town see who I really am. Weeks passed since my confrontation with Dad. I was training harder than ever, fueled not just by anger or frustration, but by a burning desire to prove myself on a larger stage. My local gym had announced a regional fitness challenge, the kind that drew athletes from every nearby town. Winning here wouldn't just be personal, it would be public. Everyone would see the result of my dedication. The morning of the competition, I arrived early. The gym buzzed with energy, trainers shouting instructions, competitors warming up, weights clanging, and the smell of chalk dust thick in the air. I checked in quietly, keeping my focus sharp. The first event was a grueling circuit of strength and endurance, deadlifts, squats, rope climbs, and sled pushes. Each rep tested not only my muscles, but my mental endurance. By the halfway point, I was exhausted, my arms trembling, sweat pouring down my face. I caught a glimpse of my father at the sidelines. His jaw was tight, his eyes fixed on me, disbelief and worry intermingling. He hadn't expected me to make it this far. He never imagined I'd survive this competition, let alone dominate it. Then came the twist that would shock him and everyone else. The final event wasn't just about lifting or running. It was a team relay where participants had to pair with someone from their gym. Without hesitation, I paired with a young trainee, guiding her through every step of the course. Our coordination, my leadership, and the months of relentless practice propelled us forward. The crowd cheered as we crossed the finish line. The announcement boomed, "Winner of the Regional Fitness Challenge, me!" My father's face went pale. The same man who had said, "You'll never amount to anything without my gym membership," now watched me as I was lifted onto the podium, medal around my neck, camera flashes going off, and the crowd chanting my name. But the real twist came after the ceremony. The organizer approached my father and handed him a certificate of recognition, not for me, but acknowledging him as the parent of the regional champion. He stared, confused. The certificate read, "For inspiring greatness, despite initial doubt. Father's name, your child proved that determination can overcome any obstacle." My father's eyes filled with tears, not of anger this time, but of pride and regret. He finally understood that no amount of control, criticism, or limitations could hold back what was meant to grow. I walked up to him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "It wasn't your membership that made me strong, Dad. It was believing in myself when you couldn't." The crowd erupted, cheering not just for the victory, but for the story behind it. A story of resilience, courage, and a son who turned his father's doubt into undeniable proof of his worth. That day, I realized the ultimate victory wasn't the medal or the recognition. It was showing my father and the world that real strength comes from persistence, heart, and the refusal to be underestimated. He thought my journey was over, but what happened next left him speechless forever. After the competition, the gym was still buzzing. Fans, trainers, and local media swarmed me for interviews and photos. My father lingered at the back, unsure how to approach me. I knew he wanted to say something, but the words felt trapped behind a wall of pride and guilt. Later that evening, as the crowd dispersed and the gym quieted, I sat in the empty locker room, wiping the sweat from my face. My father entered silently. I didn't look up. I let him find the courage first. "Son," he began, trembling, I was wrong. About everything." I finally turned to face him. His eyes were glossy, brimming with emotions he had never shown me. "You don't understand, Dad. It wasn't about the membership. It was about me, proving to myself that I could do it." He nodded, swallowing hard. "I see that now, and I'm sorry. I tried to control your path, but you were meant to walk your own." I could sense he was trying to make amends, but I had one final lesson to teach him. "Dad, if you really want to be part of my journey, you have to earn it," I said, smiling slyly. He looked puzzled. "Earn it?" "Yes," I said, standing and leading him toward the training floor. "You have to complete the same circuit I just did today. Every rep counts, no shortcuts." He laughed nervously, but I could see the determination flicker in his eyes. He wanted redemption. He wanted to prove himself, not to the crowd, not to me, but to himself. Hours later, he collapsed on the mat, drenched in sweat, muscles shaking. He looked at me, gasping, and whispered, "I get it. I finally understand your struggle, your strength." At that moment, I realized something profound. Strength isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's mental, and it's about facing challenges even when people doubt you. My father had finally walked in my shoes. He had felt the exhaustion, the fight, the triumph. The next day, the gym held a small ceremony. I received my medal again, but this time, my father stood beside me, proudly placing a hand on my shoulder. The crowd cheered, not just for me, but for the story behind the medal. A son proving himself, a father learning humility, and the bond that had been broken but was now rebuilt stronger than ever. As we left the gym together, I glanced back. The staff were smiling, kids were inspired, and my father whispered, "I'll never underestimate you again." I smiled, and I will never stop proving myself, because true strength is endless. The shocking twist wasn't just that I won a medal or proved my worth. It was that I transformed my father's doubt into respect, his control into admiration, and our strained relationship into an unbreakable bond. And as we walked into the sunset, I knew one thing for certain. Sometimes the greatest victories are not on the podium. They're in the hearts we touch and the lessons we leave behind.